Very good morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from OpenAlgo, and this specific session, right? This is going to be focused on very interesting development which is happening in OpenAlgo, right? So, what is happening in OpenAlgo is like a couple of days back, we had released something called skills, right? I'm not sure how many of you are aware about that, but that is something which is game changing from the point of trading automation or building backtesting or even bringing comprehensive uh, technical indicators, building custom indicators. You can build your own indicators effortlessly using AI agentic coding tools. So that is what we're going to discuss in this session, right? So first thing first, what you can or where you can find the skills is if you go to the documentation. If you scroll down, you'll be finding a section called skills. As of now, the skills are done only for a specific purpose. One is for indicators. This skill is particularly for the people who want to build their own indicators using OpenAlgo and also backtesting. So now effortlessly, one can do backtesting without writing a single line of code in Python, right? Not only that, it also executes automatically. So a lot of automation has been done in terms of indicators and backtesting. Probably this is something new to everyone. I think going forward, there's gonna be a greater adoption in the AI era, I would say. How many of you tried the skills? What are the skills that we posted in our Discord channel? Like anybody tried the skills? If you tried, just say yes. Because I just want to know like how many of you guys had tried. Now I tried, like my mind has completely blown away. Like, and I thought like this is gonna be the next big thing. So I thought like I should be talking about in our community. You guys haven't tried it yet, at least. Okay, let me give an small intro here. The skills are introduced by Anthropic 2 months back, and then Versal had published a couple of skills. They had curated a couple of skills in skills.sh. Skills.sh. If you go there, you can find various set of skills. The skills are like kind of expertise. It gives you deep expertise, and probably the skills are the one which can simplify the prompting techniques also. I'm going to show a small demo over here. So let me go to the backtesting skills. First, I'll show you the backtesting skills, but ideally today's session is all about indicators. So there is a quick install command is there, npx skills. This is a command, I'm gonna use it. So in order to use it, you need to have either Claude Code. These are the list of things it can work. Like you can use in Claude Code, Cursor. Recently, VS Code also started supporting, right? So Codex, Open Code, Klein, Windsurf, anywhere, or even GitHub Copilot, Gemini CLI. So anywhere, or even Antigravity also. So if any of those agentic coding tools you are using to build your own softwares or trading strategies, definitely it is going to simplify your work. So when it comes to installing the skills, right, say like I'm going to install it where my OpenAlgo folder is there, I'm going to install it. The prerequisites are very simple. So here you can see my OpenAlgo is already running over here, right? I'm going to open a new terminal, and first I'm going to check node hyphen hyphen version, ensure that Node.js is pretty much installed, ensure that you're using the latest node version. And I'm going to right click, I'm going to paste the command. So what it's going to do is like it's going to download the skill. Now this skill is an expert in VectorBT backtesting, expert in VectorBT backtesting, TLib, and lot many things. I'm going to say yes to that. And it's going to ask me what are the list of skills. So it is not having one single skill. It is going to have multiple skills. So you can do backtesting, you can do optimization, you can get some quick stats, you can set up. Setup is like kind of an initial setup, and then one-time setup, by the way. Or you can compare strategies, or VectorBT expert. A lot of best guidelines how to do the backtesting. or how to do the optimization, how to do the portfolio level backtesting. Any kind of complex backtesting you can able to do using these skills. So I'm gonna install it. So I'm gonna select space. So if you select space bar, automatically it's gonna get selected. Likewise, I'm gonna select all the skills. So multiple skills is what we are loading. I'm gonna type enter. So by default, there are two sections over here. One is universal section, always will be included, and then additional agent, right? So by default, it will be installed for these tools. They support .agent folder. Inside that, the skill folder will be there. Inside that, the skills will be stored. But in my case, I'm going to use Claude Code. So you can use Claude Code, Codex. If you're using Codex, then it will be referring from .agents. If you're going to use Claude, it will be referring from .claude/skills. So if I'm going to install, both will be installed over here. .agent/skills, that will be installed, and Claude Code, which is what I'm going to use right now. I tried with Codex also. The outcome is like very much spectacular. And Codex also had dramatically increased in the last 3 months. In the last 3 months, right, there has been a tremendous increase in the model intelligence. So I'm going to type enter and again enter and again enter. So that will be installing the skill. Now you'll be finding two folders. One is .agent, .claude, right? So .agent is for maybe if you're using Codex, CLI kind of thing, .agents will be required. Or if in case .claude, for the people who are using a Claude code. So I'm gonna invoke Claude Code. I'll invoke Claude, right? I'll say yes. So that starts the Claude, right? So first thing what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna load the skills. So I'll say like load VectorBT skills. So that will be completely loading all the skills. So it knows, it goes and checks in the .claude. If you go to the .claude, you'll be finding a lot of skills: backtest, optimize, quick stats. If you go to the backtest, it has a file name called skill.md. So these are like kind of instruction how it should get the input, or what are the arguments it can pass, like some instructions, how to backtest and all those things. And it also has like VectorBT expert instruction, a lot of rules, best guidelines, like, so it contains a lot of details about various information, like it contains information about Indian market cost. Like you don't need to set any STT, GST and all those things. Your transaction cost will be automatically taken care. So we use the Zerodha calculator as a reference. So whatever is the value for equity, for F&O, for MCX, everything has been captured over here. So if you say I want to back the State Bank of India, accordingly the transaction cost will be picked up. You don't need to say the transaction cost, automatically it get picked up. And if you say you want to trade crypto markets, automatically the crypto markets, we are referring to the Binance cost. Whatever the Binance cost, we are using that as a standard. Accordingly, the maker taker fee will be taken up. Or if in case, if you're going to say like, I'm going to backtest US markets, then accordingly we taken from IBKR, Interactive Brokers. So automatically for US markets, IBKR will be used as a standard. Whatever the cost applies to IBKR, that will be automatically applied to the backtesting tool. So first thing is like a lot of other things are there, right? So we also have something called QuantStat tier sheet. Position sizing, automatically it explains what type of position sizing you want. It knows everything about what position sizing it should set, what are the types of position sizing. You have to play with that, how to set target, stop loss. Maybe if in case if you want to test your strategies with target and stop loss, how to play with that. So all those instructions are pretty much available into the rule section, and we have a top rule called skill.md that shows how the backtesting expert skill should be handled, like clean, detailed, step-by-step instructions, right? How it should behave. Maybe going forward, it will be we'll be keep on updating the skills. So more we are finding any issues or more certain things which is not covered in the skill, we'll be keep on updating the best practices for the backtesting. So now, in order to set it up, I just have to say like /setup. So there's a /setup is the command skill. So all these skills can be accessed inside Claude Code using / command. So for example, let's say like I want to backtest, I'll say like /backtest. That will be invoke the backtest skills. If I want to do an optimization, I have to type optimize. Now only in Claude Code, you'll be finding the / command. However, other Codex kind of thing, they don't support slash command, you have to say like, hey, backtest State Bank of India or something like that. So when I say slash setup, you can see like it's going to be very interesting from here. Now what it does is, it does set up the environment. So it installs by default OpenAlgo, right? Doesn't comes with VectorBT. So it doesn't comes with backtesting environment. So it creates an virtual environment. You can see that it creates a virtual environment automatically. That will create an VNV file. So this is where all our libraries related to TALib or related to VectorBT or Plotly, everything is going to get installed over there. So it checks what kind of version I'm using. Am I using Windows, or am I using maybe I'm going to use Mac. So accordingly, it'll understand what command to fire. It automatically goes and checks those things. It is installing all the set of libraries. It is installing TALib. It is going to install. You can see that the list of libraries it is installing. It is installing OpenAlgo, VectorBT, Plotly, AnyWidget, NB format, TALib, Pandas, NumPy, YFinance. It also supports Yahoo Finance so that you can backtest for US markets or crypto markets. And it also supports OpenAlgo as well, right? So if you're going to use Indian markets, the skills are addressed to do get the data from the OpenAlgo. So how did you pass credential for Claude? Have you placed any file with key beforehand? I'm going to tell you like how I'm going to do that. So that's a very interesting thing. I'm going to send the OpenAlgo API key. I'm going to go to OpenAlgo. So here is OpenAlgo, right? In the meantime, let it set the environment. I'll go to login. I'll go and get the API key. I'll copy the key and keep it separately. So it is installing all the folders, and it also, you can see like it also create a folder name called backtesting. So very interesting folder because all our backtesting will be organized inside the backtesting folder. Any backtesting that you are doing, right? That will be highly organized inside the backtesting folder. So it's a one-time setup, but otherwise you don't need to set up multiple times. So you just say slash setup, everything will be taken care. Otherwise, I was initially trying manually everything. It was kind of a time consuming. I thought like I'll convert that into a skill so that you just simply say like slash setup, and the slash setup will be installing whatever which is necessary to function the backtesting. So it simplifies the backtesting. That's what the end idea of the goal of the backtesting skill is all about. And the backtesting library, what we are using is VectorBT. VectorBT is an open source. So lightning fast backtesting engine to find your trading edge. In market calls also, I had written a lot of tutorials about VectorBT. So I think all the installation has been done. Now it will give you a complete summary about what it had done, right? So it had installed various things. It installed VectorBT, installed Plotly for charting, TALib for technical indicators, OpenAlgo. You can use it for technical indicators also. And you can also use it here in this skill. We're going to use it for fetching the data from the broker or even fetching the data from the Historify also. And quant stats for tier sheets, pandas and numpy for mostly for supporting backtesting, numba for accelerating the backtesting, SciPy for statistical functions, and YFinance for getting data other than Indian markets. Let's say like you want to backtest Apple or Bitcoin, so then you want to get some historical data from YFinance, you can get that. A CCXT, mostly if you want to backtest any crypto markets, right? So CCXT is like kind of an what OpenAlgo does for Indian markets, CCXT does for US and crypto markets, right? But it's only a library though. OpenAlgo is it's kind of a library plus UI. And python.env, this is where it creates a .env file. So now what I'm going to say is like edit.env. I have to keep my, in my .env, I have to keep my API key over here. That's where I'm going to keep. I'm not, you don't need to supply any keys to Claude. So you can just put your keys over there, right? So now I'm going to backtest. I'll say like slash backtest. You see that these are like a kind of uh, arguments that you can pass. Automatically it shows arguments. That is optional, but still you can talk in your own natural language itself. For example, let's say I want to backtest uh, simple 10 and 30 EMA crossover. And I'll say like I want to State Bank of India, exchanges NSE, right? And so all these State Bank of India and NSE, right? All these are OpenAlgo related. I'm not saying anywhere like, hey, it should be, these are like OpenAlgo symbols. I'm not giving any context at all. Because the skills knows that skills are designed exclusively to understand the OpenAlgo symbols. And I'm gonna say like how long I want to backtest. I'll say like I want to backtest for like 5 years of backtest on a daily time frame, right? So whatever that's the only thing that you have to do here. Now the skill will figure out how to write the strategy for this, how to fetch the data from OpenAlgo, and it write the Python code. Not only it write the Python code, it also execute the Python code. You can see that it's creating an inside backtesting. It is creating an EMA crossover folder. It's inside backtesting. It created a EMA crossover folder. Inside EMA crossover folder, so means every strategy is going to be a folder inside backtesting, right? So if everything is going right, it is going to write the Python script. It also going to execute the Python script. Not only Claude Code, the other tools also really good in executing the code. I tried with Codex. I haven't tried with Antigravity yet, but more or less I think it should do. But Claude Code and Codex are really trained to execute strategies. So you can see like it created a strategy and it is also executing the strategy as well. It's executing the strategy, and inside backtesting we have like EMA crossover. Inside EMA crossover we have the State Bank of India. So let's go through the code. Let it run the code. Oh, I think it mistakenly interrupted. I'll say like continue. Just minimize. You can see like automatically the fees is coming from per side, which is as per the Zerodha statutory fees. It is setting those things. Maybe I'll remove the name like Zerodha because I don't want any broker name to be shown anywhere inside the skills. So I'll try to remove those hard coding stuff. But we are using Zerodha as a reference to take the STT and statutory charges, right? And it is taking like 0.75% allocation. It is taking an percentage allocation because I haven't mentioned the allocation part. If you say like I want a fixed money or fixed quantity or fixed amount, then you can change the allocation as well. Anytime if you want, if you're not comfortable with the allocation, you can change it. But time being, we'll say like allocation is like 0.75. And it is also using the benchmark. If you are going to use let's say Indian market, automatically it uses Nifty as a benchmark. So that the comparison will be done with your strategy, whether your strategy is outperforming Nifty or not. Right? Automatically it will be done. Maybe if you are using for US market, you will be referred with S&P 500 or SPY, the SPY. Like how we have Nifty Bs, there we have SPY. Our US markets, crypto markets, BTC USD will be considered as a benchmark reference. It's trying to execute the code. It resulted in an error. The API returned a dictionary instead of a data frame. What did I missed out? I think OpenAlgo got stopped, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do one thing. Let's say like run again. Because OpenAlgo, right, it for some reason it got stopped. So I'll try to restart again. Yeah, OpenAlgo is now running. And let's say like run again. So it executes the code. So it should fetch the data. If it is fetching the data, I should be able to see here 1240 total candles. So it is fetching those data as well. And now it runs the backtest and provides me a clean results. See, if everything is going fine, automatically it pops up and you see that it creates a tier sheet. It also shows me the backtesting result. Automatically, this gets popped up for me. Maybe if you're using Codex, this will not get popped up. In Claude Code, it is popping up. It shows like how the backtesting is, what is the equity curve, what is the drawdown is all about, what is the cumulative returns. And the tier sheet contains most interesting thing. It also gives you the explainer as well. So if you are run the strategy, what is the total return? Maybe if you are doing if you're playing with benchmark, let's say you're just simply buying Nifty and you're just simply holding it, what will be the total returns? What is the Sharpe ratio? What is the Sortino ratio? What is the max drawdown comparisons? And what is the win rate, profit factor, and total rates? It gives you complete idea about those things. So Chirag says like, can that benchmark allocation, etc., can be given in prompt? Of course, 100% you can say that. For example, I'm gonna say like, I can alter the backtest here. I can just simply say like, can you change the backtest? I'm gonna change some couple of things over here. I'll say like vectors with the stop loss. I'll say like 5%. I want to add with the EMA crossover. So now what it does is like it just alter the complete strategy. Now it will try to do the backtest, same strategy, same EMA crossover, but it will add 5% and then it will try to execute and then it gives you the results as well. In the meantime, I'll show you the tier sheet. So the tier sheet shows very interesting things. So here is the tier sheet. So tier sheet gives you very comprehensive backtesting results. So it shows Nifty spot. The yellow one is the Nifty spot and how your strategy is performing. Cumulative returns with respect to benchmark, log scaled, volatility matched, and the end of the year returns and the distribution of the monthly returns between your benchmark and also the strategy. You get the daily returns, rolling beta, rolling Sharpe ratio, rolling Sortino ratio, drawdown period. The red colored zones are the drawdown periods. So it also gives you the worst top 10 drawdowns and gives you year on year how much returns it is making, like how it is making last 5 years, how the returns has been made, and a lot of metrics which tells like how your strategy is really good or bad, or how smooth the risk is, how smooth the reward is, can I run the strategy or not. It gives you a lot of benchmark metrics. I'm not going to go very too detail into the benchmark metrics, but the whole point is now if I say yes, right, so it is going to completely alter the strategy. It is going to add 10% fixed stop loss from the entry price as well. It's going to add a stop loss of 0.05. But remember, this is only for backtesting, not for live execution, right? Does Nanobot support skills? I don't know, but OpenClaw supports skills. Hopefully, Nanobot also should have supported skills. Same skills can I use it? If you ask me, 100% you can use it. You can use it in OpenClaw. If Nanobot supports skills, which I really don't know whether they support skills or not, but definitely you can use it, and you can do backtesting from your WhatsApp itself, WhatsApp or Telegram. You can give instructions. So Neeraj Kumar is saying like, how can we get the historical and live market data for this backtesting? So it automatically fetches from the OpenAlgo. If you could see the code, source code, if you could have seen that, it is invoking OpenAlgo and it is setting up the API key and it is automatically getting the historical data for what are the time frame that you are specifying. It uses that data to calculate EMA. So EMA, any technical indicator you're going to calculate, it is going to use TALib, right? And it also going to create buy, when to sell signals or when to short or cover. So here it is only long only. Here it is only long only signal. It is running the backtest completely, right? And it shows you the result. This is the result with stop loss. You can also add a target, trailing stop loss, all those things. You can just say. All you have to do is like you just have to say. You just say the coding will be done, right? You say like, can you also add 20% target? right, to the existing setup. So automatically it's going to add now 5% stop loss is there. 20% target is also added over here, right? Automatically. So that way your commissions are taken care, your strategies are taken care. You can, this is just a simple example of how to play with simple strategy. However, you can play with complex strategies also, right? So let me show you a different style of complex strategies, like how we can play with that. Now, many people's question is like how we can trust the code. So more the skills are having better best practices, higher the chances that you're going to end up with an high quality results. As I said, one have to cross verify it, but still over a period of time, more reliability will be added to the skills. Okay, so let's say like I'll go to OpenAlgo. As you know, like we have something called Historify, right? So it not only provide the results, it also give you an explainer as well. It also gives you comparison as well. So without stop loss, what was the result? With 5% stop loss and 10% take profit, what is the result? So what is actually happening over here? So here you can see like drawdown has been reduced. Return also got reduced. Drawdown also got reduced. So what is the maximum drawdown duration? Drawdown duration got reduced drastically. So this kind of inference you will be getting over here. And it also get in key takeaways as well. These key takeaways are coming in Claude Code. I also instructed to give detailed summary about the backtesting as well, so that you don't need to figure out what is what, right? Even if you are like, let's say Sharpe ratio jump to 1.3 and Sartino ratio jump to 2.12, excellent, better risk adjusted returns. You can just make a conversation like what how good the Sharpe ratio is. You can ask a question like how good the Sharpe ratio is. So if you're a beginner, right, it'll be a better way to learn backtesting without writing a single line of code. And you'll be completely playing with AI tools, and you have a high reliability compared to any other method of doing and backtesting. It's a completely programmatic way to do the backtesting with better skills. So here it gives you explainer like less than 0 means it's bad, 0 to zero point 0.5 poor, zero point 0.5 to 1 acceptable, 1 to 1.5 is good, 1.5 to 2 it is good, and greater than 2 it is excellent. In our case, our results are like 1.33 means we fall in this bracket. So like it's a good strategy. Like you sits there, like your strategy is sitting over there, and it beats Nifty 1.02. Nifty Sharpe ratio is like 1.02. So you can ask like what does it mean, right? So even if you don't know anything about backtesting, if you really don't know about anything about backtesting metrics, you can now make a conversation and you can understand how good or bad your trading strategy is, right? So Neeraj Kumar is saying like, what is the best way to convert these insights into automated trade? Can it be done using Zerodha MCP? Just thinking out aloud. Like, for your information, OpenAlgo supports local MCP, which has more capabilities than any other broker has in the planet, right? And which means you can also, you don't need to use MCPs. I think MCPs are probably not required if you have skills. So if you write skills, it can even execute trades also, right? So agentic going forward, right? Many agents are going to have skills. MCPs, I would say like if you say MCP are skills, which is more better if you ask me, MCPs can only execute tools, whereas skills are the instruction to the agent, how it should behave, how it should be an expertise in a particular segment, and it can also execute trades as well, right? If we are going to provide the execution skills, as of now I don't want to provide execution skills, but very soon we'll be having it. Right now I want you guys to play with the backtesting indicators, but very soon we'll be having execution skills. Once execution skills are there, you can easily set up multiple skills to execute your strategies, complex straddle strangles, adjustments, all those things can be automated just like that. Okay, now let me try with a different strategy. I'll say like slash backtest. So here I'm automatically invoking the backtest, or I can say like, can you backtest? I can also say like this. if I say, can you backtest, right? So it knows that the context is related to the backtest. So the agent itself, the Claude Code itself, try to check any skills are loaded or not if I can use any of these skills, right? So since the skill is already loaded to the Claude Code memory, it will try to do that. So here Claude Code will be invoking the skills, or if I want to invoke the skills, I have to say like slash backtest. I'll be, as a user, I'm invoking the skills. I'm particularly saying that you have to use this particular skill, right? Otherwise, Claude will decide which skill to invoke when based on what prompt you are providing. I hope you guys are able to follow up, right? Aishwarya is asking how to make OpenAlgo technical indicators faster. So a lot of optimization has been gone last couple of days. So now I think a lot of after optimization, I would say like still OpenAlgo, we done a lot of optimization so that it almost close to close matches with the TLib performance. So now let's say I'm gonna try something like, hey, I'm gonna have a strategy. I want to backtest a simple super trend strategy, and I'll say like I want to backtest. Let's say like I'm gonna give a list of stocks: HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. I'm not gonna trade with one single instrument. So I'll say like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, State Bank of India. Maybe I'll go diversified a little bit. So I'll say like State Bank of India. I'll say like Reliance, I'll say like Infi, or maybe I'll say like maybe what else we can say like Tata Steel, right? So completely diversified element is what I'm taking. So I'll say like I want to test a simple super trend strategy. I just want to play with a simple super trend strategy with the parameters we can say like 3 and 10. So 3 is for the factor and 10 is the ATR multiplier. And I'm gonna say allocation is gonna be like allocation. For State Bank of India, I'm gonna say like 20% allocation. Maybe Reliance, I'll say like 30% allocation. And Infi, I'll say like probably 10% allocation. And Tata Steel, I'll say like 40% allocation. So different stocks, I'm gonna do an allocation. And I'm gonna say like I also first I'll do the simple things, right? Or later on you can do rebalancing and all those things. All those things, uh, these VectorBT is now highly capable of doing all these things, right? And I'm gonna say like use daily time frame, right? And backtest for the last 5 years, or you can say like even you can say like different time frame also. You can say like hourly time frame, 5 minute time frame, any time frame you can say. But for quick results, I'm gonna keep it as daily time frame itself. You can build on intraday strategy, backtesting, and all those things. You can play with that. That's not a big deal at all. So now it is gonna create an multi-asset portfolio pattern, right? So it's gonna figure out how to play with super trend, and particularly the instruction has been provided that it should use OpenAlgo to calculate super trend. The reason is TLib super trend, we if at all I have to play, then super trend TLib we have to custom code because there is no ready-made function in TLib, but OpenAlgo has that. So there has been a specific instruction provided in the skills that it should use OpenAlgo TA indicator to calculate the super trend. And you can also parallelly say like I also want another table to benchmark with fixed deposit FD. Like you can take like HDFC Bank fixed deposit, like which is like 6.4 percentage, 6.225 to 6.4 is what roughly you will get. I want another column just to check the benchmark. Is it exceeding the fixed deposits or not? Right. So you can add more instruction as the on the fly. You can add more instructions. So it has written the code. You can see like multi super trend backtest. It's a kind of a portfolio level backtesting super trend. If you go to this code, you can find it you can see that OpenAlgo, it also uses API for fetching the historical data, TA for calculating the super trend. So it's putting in a list. Allocation has been again separated as a list. Super trend period and multiplier. The fees has been taken from the standard values, whatever we had provided. And here is the output. You can see like this is the output that you will be getting. So what you are getting here is like you are getting the underwater, and you also getting the this one. This is Nifty, and this is going to be your strategy. So as you can see, like the strategy is underperforming Nifty. Maybe if you would have bought Nifty Bs and then you are sitting, your strategy would have been much better compared to you playing with super trend with various allocations. Allocations are not working really good. It's profitable, but it's not that up to the mark. Nifty had delivered better in terms of returns. And every single individual equity curve also, you're able to see over here, every single equity curve of Infi, equity curve of State Bank of India, equity curve of Reliance, and equity curve of Tata Steel, which is by any means, it is very difficult earlier, but now because of the skills, right, it has been made pretty much possible. So anybody can be a quant going forward. If you are having any creative ideas, the creative ideas is going to be the limit to make your strategy better, right? Any kind of ideas can be converted into strategy. And as you can see, like it is also adding fixed deposits as well. So it added one more line. I don't know what it had done, but is it added any fixed deposit? I don't see any fixed deposits here. Yeah, it added over here, HDFC fixed deposit. How much return you would have made in the last 5 years? Like if you would have parked 10 lakh rupees, you would have been yielded like in the last 5 years. Your strategy is not even beating the HDFC fixed deposits. So that kind of simple instructions you'll be able to see. And if you're gonna play with Nifty buy and hold, you can say like you don't want Nifty as a benchmark. Rather, you can go with Nifty Bs. So you can say like, can you replace the benchmark? Replace the benchmark. Instead of Nifty, can you use Nifty Bs, right? You can play something like that. So that will be completely again changing the benchmark index. So it will be changing the thing, and it also changes the tier sheet as well. So here right now the tier sheet, it is using, you can see like the tier sheets. This is a tier sheet exactly. The tier sheet is from QuantStats and the backtesting result is from VectorBT, right? So why QuantStats tier sheet is like it gives you more comprehensive metrics, more detail about your trading strategy. It guides you like month on month returns and all those things are possible with QuantStats, right? And QuantStat is also open source. So what I want you to do, go and try checking like what are the things that you can play with VectorBT skills. And I'm gonna show you one more interesting thing. Maybe what you can also do is, let's go to OpenAlgo. Let me log in. I'll go to Historify. So Historify is the place where we can backtest our, we can download strategies, right? I'll add a couple of symbols. I think it updated with Nifty Bs. It also executed, changed from Nifty to Nifty Bs so that your backtesting benchmark is even more realistic, right? And let it do. In the meantime, we'll go to Historify. Yeah. So I'm going to add probably State Bank of India. I'll add Infi. I'll add Wipro. What are the stocks that you want to see? You can add it and download the data so that your data will not be fetched from the broker every single time, right? So because downloading the data from the broker is very painful, particularly let's say you want to analyze like 500 of symbols. So hundreds of symbols you want to analyze. 500 symbols every time I cannot go to the broker and I cannot download. That's going to take a hell of a lot of time. So if to simplify the timings, what you can do is like you can download the data inside Historify. Historify will store the data in a DuckDB format. I'll say like Tata Steel, Reliance. So all these symbols, right? I'm gonna download the data for the last 5 years. Like let's say like last 6 years, I'm gonna download. Right from Jan onwards, I'll try to download those historical data for almost like 5+ years of data is what we're gonna download till to date. Till to date is what I'm gonna download. I'll say like daily. First time I'm gonna download everything. It's gonna take little bit slower. Yeah. So Reliance is downloaded. Tata Steel is getting downloaded. Which broker gives more than 3+ years of data? Many brokers are providing. I think majority of the top brokers like Zerodha, Upstocks, Dun, Fires, Angel. So all these are brokers are providing more than 5+years. Zerodha provides the max, I think, 10+years. 10 years, I think. So I think all the data has been already downloaded. So almost like 10 MB of data is sitting there in Historify. It's in DuckDB. So now all I have to do is like, can you use source equal to DB? Equal to DB for getting the data from Historify for faster backtesting. There are three different routes you can play with getting the data, right? If in case if you want to do the backtesting via OpenAlgo, I'll tell you what are the routes. So via OpenAlgo, there are three routes are possible. One is directly you store from Historify, one time effort, multiple time you can use it. This is like kind of a fastest route. It is stored in DuckDB. This is get inside OpenAlgo. Or another way is like you can talk to the broker API, fetch the data. That's the slowest route. And there is a one more route called OpenAlgo API. OpenAlgo API. So if you say OpenAlgo API, with source, if you're gonna say like source equal to DB, it will be getting the data through the Historify. Right? Or if you say, hey, I don't want to get through the data, I want to get through the broker. If you say like source equal to API, or if you don't mention any source at all, by default, it will try to take the data from the broker API. Right? That's what it's gonna do. Come on. And there's a direct route is there. You can directly access the DuckDB. That is also possible. That's the fastest route. So that's a super highway, I would say. Fastest route probably will take like maximum 10 milliseconds. If you're gonna download through Historify, even hundreds of symbols, will be taking like 10 milliseconds to fetch the data and some more time to backtest the data. But if you're gonna use source equal to DB, it's gonna consume at least 70 milliseconds. Still the fastest route. 70 milliseconds because still it's going through the API route. API adds a lot of overhead. But if you're going to use through the broker route, this is the slowest one. It could take like a couple of seconds. Maybe if you're going to trade only like State Bank of India, at least it will take like 5 seconds to download 5 years of data. 5 years of data for State Bank of India on the daily scale. Maybe if you're going to play with 5 years of intraday 1 minute data, it's going to take at least a minute to process to download 1 minute data. But I would say like trying to directly access the Historify DuckDB. That's the fastest route, which I haven't enabled yet. But right now, these two are available in the skills. So right now we have skills which are available via OpenAlgo API. It is available. This route is available through the skills, and this route is also available. If it's a simple thing, you can play with that. If you're going to play with hundreds of symbols or thousands of symbols, and you don't want to hit the rate limit of the broker, and you don't want to throttle the broker, first download to Historify, and then you can play with taking the data from the. You just simply say like source equal to DB. Automatically, it take the data from your stored Historify inside OpenAlgo itself. Otherwise, it'll be taking from the broker server, right? Can we backtest options as well? 100% you can do that, but not the way as you think. Like you can play with whatever the data is there in your Historify, you can play with that. But right now it is like more of a contractual thing. Maybe that requires more if in case you want to backtest options for the last 5 years. That is tedious. If you're having like current month options, current week options, that can be backtested easily, right? But I haven't added any instruction specific for options. So I would say like first try with the equity markets or few FNO, trend following systems or portfolio systems or sector rotation systems. Those kind of systems can be easily backtested. Otherwise, I would say it is not a good idea to backtest option strategy at this point in time because we haven't added any skills. So I have a different plan for it. Maybe later point in time we will be building something different exclusively for FNO trading, right? Right now, this skill is highly recommended for equity and intraday or even futures directional trading. Options, if you are doing, you can still do, but you need to do a lot of validation here, right? So it's run like source equal to DB, and I'll say like, yes, run it. You don't need to memorize any commands. You just have to just normally, you just take a conversation with the bot and that is going to execute. The agent is going to execute for you. It's going to execute. And now the data is coming from where? Coming from the brokers. I mean, Historify. Oh, Nifty Bees is not available. So I'll also try to download Nifty Bees as well. Unfortunately, I haven't thought about that. Or I can say like Nifty Bees, you can take it from Y Finance. Nifty Bees, you can take from Y Finance because in Historify, right, I haven't added uh, Historify, I haven't added Nifty Bees yet. So it is able to download all the other four stocks. I'll say like Nifty Bees, you go and get it from Y Finance. Okay. That is the one. Same backtest, but now the data is coming from Historify, not from the broker. One time I can download from the broker and I can reuse it multiple times so that you will be saving a lot of time. You don't need to run, you don't need to download from the broker every single time, right? Sandeep is saying where I can access level 2 market data. You showed 50 depth using fires, but I need the full depth where I can find it apart from NSE. I think Dun is providing like 200 depth. Fires is providing 50 depth. Upstocks is providing 30 depth via API, right? All right, so we're going to play with the next skill. So the next skill is nothing but the indicator skill. More or less similar concept, but let's go to the skill here. Let's go to docs.openalgo.in. So you go to the skill section and you just go and get the indicators. Now this brings where all the 100 plus indicators inside OpenAlgo, we convert that into a skill. So you can use this to build your own dashboard and everything. And you can say like, I'll open up another tab. I'll paste it and type enter. So that should be installing the, oh. I'll do one thing. I'll try to run again. So the skills are getting installed. Here we have like custom indicator, custom chart, custom dashboard, custom indicator export, scanners you can build, setup. You can also get data from the OpenAlgo WebSockets as well. So you can build and basically an real-time WebSocket data. You can easily able to build real-time dashboards. You can able to build in a matter of a minute. And I'm going to select Claude Code, enter for project, and I'm going to type enter for Simlink, enter for yes. That will be installing more skills. So all those more additional skills you can find inside the skill folder, right? So all these indicator skills are here. Now I'm going to launch Claude again. I'm going to say flash indicator, or I'll say like first load the indicator skills, load the indicator skills. So load the VectorBT skills. If you say VectorBT skills will get loaded. Here I'm saying like, hey, load the indicator skills. Now I'm going to say like slash indicator hyphen setup. So that will be setting up the complete indicators virtual environment. It's going to try with the virtual environment. We're already having it. So I don't think it should create one. It says it is able to figure out that I'm already having a virtual environment. I'm also having a .env file. It's going to check the current status. Our .env is configured. So now it's going to install the required libraries. So the required libraries are like OpenAlgo, YFinance, Plotly, Dash, and Streamlit. Yes, you can now build a Streamlit dashboards, Numba, NumPy, Pandas, Python.env. So that's going to simplify your work a lot, and your prompt is going to make very simpler. Now, some people may ask, like, will it not will not overload the context? If you ask me, the agents are designed in an efficient way, like it is not token hungry, right? It's trying to ensure that OpenAlgo is running. So it installed all the libraries has been already installed. Now we can create any simple dashboard we can create. I'll say like I'm going to create a simple Streamlit dashboard. So I'll say like create a simple Streamlit dashboard. Or first I'll show like create a Plotly charts, 5-minute time frame of State Bank of India, and load the data from source equal to DB, or I can also say historify. Doesn't matter, it should understand. But I'll say like it should load the source from DB, and I'll say like load daily time frame and plot the super trend indicator with 3, 10 on top of that, right? So I'm just going to say enter. That now what it's going to create is like it's going to create a Plotly charts with State Bank of India daily time frame, fetching the data from Historify, and it also adds the super trend indicator on top of that. Let's say I also want to add more indicators. I'll say like, can you also add RSI and MACD, right? So you can add on demand. You can keep on adding more indicators as well. So now it goes and checks the best skills, the best rules, whatever that we had added. It knows how to plot the super trend. It also gonna bring RSI and MACD charts as well. And as you understand, right, OpenAlgo supports 100 plus indicators. All those 100 plus indicators, I'll show you where you can find the documentation also. So Vinith is saying, have you looked into Toon? It saves a lot of tokens. I heard about Toon, right? So I hear that it's saving a lot of tokens, but it's still not a standard practice yet. Companies are not adapting, so I'm not looking into those things. So maybe once it is adopted as a standard, we'll also adapt. I think Is the OpenAlgo is running? Yeah, OpenAlgo is running. What data it's trying to fetch? It says 5-minute candlestick charts. I think 5-minute candlestick charts is not in. Maybe I'll say, escape. I'll say like fetch daily data instead of 5-minute, because 5-minute is not in Historify. I know that. So it's saying like no data found for 5-minute data. It's supposed to be a daily data. That's what I want. So feel free to interrupt whenever you find like something is wrong going on, or mistakenly you're given a data which doesn't exist in the Historify. So interrupt it and then you can just give the updated context. It's going to get the idea. Now it should plot, as you can see, like it is plotting the historical charts. For a limited period only it is plotting, but you can say like, hey, I want for last 5 years. So this is plotting from 2025, right? You can say like, can you plot for last 2 years? You can simply control it, right? So as you can say, like you have access to RSI, you have the RSI value, MACD value, you can control those values. You have the State Bank of India charts as well. And of course, all the y-axis is, for time being, it is there on the left-hand side. You can also change it to right-hand side also. So you can use it to plot charts. Charting the plots has been, I mean, plotting the charts has been highly simplified now. You can bring any kind of complex indicators. Means, let's say, I want to bring something like I'll go to trading view, I'll go to products, I'll try to find some of the very interesting indicators from here. Let's say I'll go to something like community indicators is what I'm planning for. Top. It's something like William Wicks Fix, one of the simplest indicator. Let's say I want to do with Nifty. I'll delete this. In fact, this indicator here, it's called uptrick. Yesterday I'm able to code this indicator also. That took a little bit of time, but still I'm able to arrive to that value. So here I'm just gonna say like, can you plot this indicator with the Nifty and get the data from source equal to API? If you say source equal to API, it's gonna fetch directly from the broker. If you're gonna give Nifty, you have to specify index also, because exchange also, NSE underscore index is the OpenAlgo exchange common for all the brokers. So it should get those values from the broker. And I'll say like get for daily time frame for the last 1 year. Right? That's what I'm gonna say, because I forgot to add. So you can just give a updated prompt so that the user wants 1 year instead of 2. So let me fix that. Otherwise, it's gonna fill those values automatically. Yeah, where it is. This is not the one. I think I forgot to add the indicator. So let me add. Say like I want only candlestick charts and CM William Wicks Fix. So this is a indicator. I'm just copying and pasting. So what this does is like it creates an chart folder. As you can see, like it creates an like how in our previous VectorBT skill, it created a backtesting folder. It creates a chart folder. Inside the chart, it organizes those things, not as a separate folder as of now, but it is every single uh, charting or everything is a separate query now, every separate Python file. And it also creates the plotly in HTML format. So it creates the William Wicks fix and it brings those values as well. As you can say, like this is the latest as on last Friday. And that should exactly matching with the Nifty spot on the daily scale. Yeah, that's a exactly daily scale value. Right now, the value is like 3.13. Same thing goes with here also, 3.13, right? So very easily you can bring any technical indicator. Just all you have to do is like just copy and paste. Uh, the indicators will be created using OpenAlgo TA. And OpenAlgo TA, you can find all those 100 plus indicator, which we already done a separate session on that. But here you can find, if you go to Python, under Python, you can find indicators. So all the 100 plus indicators you can find over. These are the list of indicators that are supported right now by OpenAlgo. Using that as a base, you can build whatever the indicator of your choice. So now I can say like, can you create a, let's say like simple, I want to see the dashboard, right? So let's say like I want to see the simple Streamlit dashboard. Where I want to visualize various recent EMA crossover happened for a bunch of symbols. Let's say like Nifty 50 symbols. I'm not going to say Nifty 50 symbols because I have to use, I'm going to use only 10 symbols at this point in time. Otherwise, it's going to be very time consuming. I'll take it from the list of symbols. I'll say like I want to create a Streamlit dashboard where I want to visualize various sector returns for the last 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year, 3 years, and year to date. Right? This is our last 5 years also. 5 years for various sectors I want to have. So the list of sectors I'm going to provide over here. So you can find the list of sectors under the symbol format. You can find here, right? So here is find, you can find all the list of NSE indices, which is right now done for like some 10 to 12 brokers. We enabled it. Very soon we'll be rolling out to across all the brokers, but all the top brokers we are already enabled. So Zero Dap, Stocks, Fires, Done, Angel, I think Kotak. Kotak doesn't support historical data, but let's say like I'm gonna say these are the list of indices. I don't want everything, but select only top 10 sector. I'll say like here are the list of indices. I don't want all the indices, but I'll say like I don't want all the indices, but select only sector specific indices, top 10. Like for example, auto, pharma, right, etc. I don't want Nifty, Bank Nifty kind of, but I want sectoral indices. I want to, I want AI tool to pick it up for me. And I want in an sectoral returns. I'll also say like I want an histogram format. I want in histogram format. So what you can do is like you can build your own scanners. You can build your own analytical reports. Maybe you might be a research analyst, right? You want to do some research. You might be a student, or you might be a trader. You want to visualize the markets the way you want. Now anything is possible as long as you know how to talk to the AI tools. So Cali is saying like, is it possible to create a dashboard to show narrow CPR stocks in monthly, weekly, daily time frame? Of course, it is possible. In fact, I was giving the tool to one of my friend. So he written a narrow CPR strategy, and he's able to backtest first of all, and he's also able to list a couple of stocks as well. So that is totally possible. But only thing is like every single time you have to validate that the output is right or not. So that is where the most of the time you have to spend, not in terms of writing the codes, because practically I don't even see the codes anymore, but I just still validate some part of the code, right? If I find that something is going wrong, I'll try to figure out where it is going wrong. So dashboard is live. I think it is running. Let's see. It is fetching the sectoral data. It's running the sectoral data. So you see that it's taking time because the data is not from Historify. If it is Historify, that data fetching time would have been saved. By now, it would have been fetched. Otherwise, it has to fetch one by one all the 10 symbols. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Is it fetching the data? That's what we need to validate. Yeah, it's collecting the data, right? You see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 symbols it had fetched. Ninth one. So the data fetching is happening properly. Yeah, so the data has been, we got the data, right? And we got the returns for the period. So these are list of periods. It's showing in something like this, but I'll say like, hey, I don't want like this. Maybe I want a different way to represent. I want probably like stock charts type. You can say like they have something called perf chart, performance chart, right? Where it is. Yeah, interactive performance chart. I'll say like State Bank of India, Reliance. So it shows something called perf chart where you can visualize something like this. Say like add. I say like I want something like this. You can take an example screenshot and you can attach it. You can just simply go there and say like, I want my output should look like a vertical histogram attached like this. And you just paste it, type enter. You should be able to, it should be able to understand what kind of output you want and it's going to do it for you. So OpenAlgo is not just an algo trading platform. It is getting much better than that in the form of skills, right? It's going to help a lot of research analysts to fasten up their research skills. And it is also going to help traders to visualize. Traders, not just traders, investors, they can visualize. Investors, they can build their own mutual funds, right? Or investors, they can build their rotational portfolios, like what small case is doing. The same thing, you can use OpenAlgo to build your own small case, manage your small case, backtest your small case, or even you rebalancing your small case periodically. In the future, you can also execute as well. So all those things are pretty much possible. Now, the worst part is if I try to refresh the page, it will start downloading. Yeah, so see that this is like 1 month. I'll say like 1 week. I should be able to see like different sector comparisons, all sector returns across periods, different periods. There's like 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, 1 year to date, 1 year, 3 year, and 5 years, right? And this is for like only the selected period. So like last 5 years period or how the returns looks like. So you can use this to easily play with that. You can also build market breadth indicators, right? So a lot of crazy things you can do with that, right? Because of the timing constraint, I'm not going to explain each and everything. I want you guys to go and explore those things, right? Or if in case you want more detailed, comprehensive things, we are running our own Quant mentorship program where we extensively teach like almost like 60 to 70 hours of training on how to play with these kind of tools. All right. So I guess any questions you guys are having? Otherwise, more or less, we're done with that. Now, what you can also do is like you can also use multiple skills also. You can say like, hey, um, uh, calculate EMA using EMA 10 and 20. using, or you can first say like load the indicator skills and VectorBT skills. You can use indicators to calculate OpenAlgo indicator and VectorBT for backtesting. That is also possible now. Like you can mix two different skills also. You can say like slash use indicator skills to calculate 10 and 20 EMA and use VectorBT to backtest simple EMA crossover for the last 5 years. For the symbol SBAN, exchanges NSE. So this kind of things are pretty much now doable. Like you can mix various skills. So going forward, I think a trader has to learn a lot about skills that is going to simplify majority of their automation workflow or visualization workflow, or even their backtesting optimization workflow as well. So Neeraj Kumar says like all good. Thanks for this wonderful session. Looking forward to try this out. Uh, yes, I highly recommend you guys to go and play with that. Right. If in case an .env is not created, ask your AI tool to create the .env thing. It is going to create it for you. Anyways, it will be creating when you are setting it up. I guess that's all from my side. And yeah, last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks, right, we got slowed down because we're also handling some personal projects as well. Because of that, we slow down a lot. But then that doesn't mean like we'll be completely slowing down. We're still focusing more on performance optimization and all those things. So as you can see, like the output backtesting output has been happened. But if you could see the code is inside EMA crossover. I'll go to the EMA crossover here. You will be finding that the indicator calculations are now from OpenAlgo itself, right? Accordingly, it will be playing with that. Anyways, so Lakshmana is saying like I'm using goal batch method to backtest. In that case, I need to create my own skills. Yes, you can create your own skills, right? So that is totally possible. You can leverage the tools like Claude Code and Codex to create your own skills. You have to teach how the skills looks like, and you say like this is what my skill supposed to be, and you can create your own skills. Kali is saying like, is there a next batch of Quant Edge starting soon? I think right now a batch is going on. Probably we are in the middle of the batch. Almost like day 18 has been done. Total we'll have like 36 sessions. Every session lasts for like 2 to 2.5 hours. Next batch probably it will be around I think May or June, I believe. All right, guys. So I hope there is some reasonable amount of learning in today's session, and thank you for your wonderful inputs. Because of that, otherwise OpenAlgo would not be reached this stage. And very soon, probably next week, more or less, we're gonna hit a very important milestone. The milestone is we'll be reaching 1 lakh downloads of OpenAlgo. Now every week we are hitting like 20,000 downloads. We are hitting. Now we are probably another by next week. I think we'll be reaching like 1 lakh. Right. I'm pretty optimistic. So I already added here. I added the numbers over here. But anyways, these numbers will happen by next week. This is yet another milestone for OpenAlgo. And can we get the recording access to the session? Yes, of course, it will be posted to YouTube most likely, right? And it's also available in the same portal as well. So you can also watch the recordings if in case you haven't attended the session yet. All right. So Kamal is saying like, which model are you using for this task? I'm using the Opus model. Claude Opus is what I'm using. I also tried with Claude Code, I mean Codex. Codex is what I tried. So if in case we are using Codex, you should consider using the same method. Like instead of this, I'll exit and I'll use Codex. Codex is from ChatGPT. So you can connect your ChatGPT. If you're having a ChatGPT premium account, you can just log in. Uh, I mean, you have to log in. You just type login, and then it'll be asking you to log in with your ChatGPT account so that you don't need any APIs. If you're having the $20 plan, then select the model. The model should be, you have to consider using the latest 5.3 codex, right? So by default, it will be using a 5.2 codex, I think. You have to manually go and change to 5.3 codex and set the skill level to high. And now you say like load the VectorBT skills. Now it knows everything about VectorBT. Or if you're using Antigravity also, we can do the similar manner. So now it loaded the skills. Now we can ask to backtest. But the only thing is like you don't get to see this, like, slash backtest will not be there. They have slash commands, but as of now, they haven't implemented the slash commands. So you can just go and say, check like skills. What are the list of skills which are available? List skills. It shows you like these are the list of skills available. So now we can, you say like, can you backtest, right? And you can keep continuing with your prompts. What you want to backtest, what strategy. So those things you can able to build from the scratch. Anyways, the recordings will be available. Most likely it will be posted in YouTube channel also of OpenAlgo and also in market calls, right? All right. So my cost, if I am using Codex, it is $20. If I am going to use Claude Code, then the cost is supposed to be around like $200 is what I'm spending per month. So my net overall cost is 220. However, you can start with $20, or you can start with Antigravity. They give some free um, stuff. I mean, they have some free, reasonably free to test your ideas. Maybe you can create some couple of strategies, 5 to 10 strategies. I think you should be able to create using OpenAlgo and OpenAlgo skills. I think that should be good enough to kickstart. Per day, 10 strategy you can create. That's more than enough, right? If you're going to start with anti-gravity from Google, that's a decent amount of free tokens they are providing on a daily basis. But then you want more enhanced, you go with Codex, $20 per month. Or if you want even Claude Code also, you can get $20 per month, but that will not be enough. To start with $20, but you can always increase to $100 plan or $200 plan. If you want unlimited number of code that you're going to create, which eventually we have to do in our case because we are building OpenAlgo and a lot more other platforms. So that justifies $200. For a trader, I think $20 should be more than enough. Somebody who is starting fresh, somebody who is very new to this environment, they should start with $20, or they should start with anti-gravity, right? All right then. So let me know what you guys are building, what kind of backtesting that you are doing, how you are validating. We can have those discussion in our Discord channel in our Python. So as you know, so we have a Discord channel, we have our community, and you can reach the community at openalgo.in. From here, there's a Discord link is there. You can go and reach almost 3,200 plus members are there. So we can continue the discussion in slash Python, right? So here we can continue the discussions over here, right? And yes, this is something that we have to create. You can create something like this using Claude Code or Codex skills. You can create this. This is something like SMC architecture. I created using Claude, but you can do using Claude skills also, like the indicator skills. You can create this. Just give the code. It's going to give you the SMC structure very easily. All right then. So see you in an yet another very interesting session. A lot of things to catch up in OpenAlgo because a lot of things we had done, we haven't spoken about yet. I thought like some things the skills has to reach many people, so that simplifies their ideas of backtesting. Idea to code generation was a difficult task, but not anymore. Right. Thank you. Bye bye.